Hello and welcome to this tutorial video that will help you complete your PowerPoint 1 basic presentation assignments. What I have in front of me are the instructions. I have them, in Word, but they are available also inside your D2L shell. So let's follow the steps. Step number 1 assumes that you already installed Microsoft Office. We should have done that in one of the previous weeks or leading up to this week's, or you're already working on a computer where it's already installed. I'm going to emphasize that it has to be the installed app, not the online version or like a mobile version. It's got to be not anything running in a browser. It's got to be in or installed on a desktop, a Mac or a Windows. I'm recording this tutorial on Mac, but whenever there's cosmetic differences between where things are found on Mac or Windows, I will point them out. So the first thing we're going to do is, assuming you installed Microsoft Office, which includes PowerPoint, is to launch PowerPoint. If you're a Mac user, you're going to go to the Finder, applications, and I don't know what other applications you might have, but one of them is PowerPoint. Double click, it launches. And for me, it launches right into a new blank document. For many people, what it probably will launch into is into this screen, which offers many templates, and you're going to click on blank presentation. Double click to start one. If you're a Windows user, on the other hand, then to launch PowerPoint, if you already installed it, I have a screenshot here that I'm going to bring in. The way to do that would be to click on your Windows icon at the bottom of your taskbar, and if you installed PowerPoint, you should see a shortcut to PowerPoint in your popular applications. And if you don't, you just start typing the word PowerPoint and it shows up, then you click on it, and then from that point on it's the same on Mac and Windows. So let me move this away. Back to the instructions. So from this point on, I'm going to be going back and forth between the I don't need presentation 2, only presentation 1, between PowerPoint and the instructions. So let's see. Once you launched it and started a blank presentation, the first thing to do, even before you put any work into it, is to save as. And you're going to go to your local computer, not to OneDrive or any local online location. I'm going to explain in class why not. Right now, we're just going to follow the mechanics of it. Recommended to save to your documents folder. So again, starting with Mac users, if I'm a Mac user, I will have the file menu. Sorry, not to be on PowerPoint. The file menu will be on top here. Now, for many users who launch PowerPoint on Mac in full screen mode, they go like, where's the file? So you need to move your mouse to touch the top of the screen, and there you see the file menu. I like to have it not in full screen, so I see the file menu anyway, and save as. Now, you might launch for the first time looking something like this, where it says OneDrive or something like that, and you're going to switch to on my Mac. You want to save locally on your Mac. Now, it tells you in the instructions how to call it. You need to name this file with your last name, basic presentation. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call it, let's say that I'm a student whose name is Smith. Now, that extension .pptx might show up or not. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. It gets added because the file format is PowerPoint. Now, where am I going to save it? It looks exactly the same on Mac or Windows. I'm going to save to my Documents folder. If you want to create, I got a bunch of subfolders and so on, that's totally up to you, as long as you remember where you saved it. I'm saving it to my Documents folder because it's a document, and I'm saving. If you're a Windows user, I have a screenshot that shows that. If you're a Windows user, your file is not going to be a menu on the top. It's going to be a tab on the side, and you're going to press File, which will take you to something called the back view. And you're going to see initially it pushes you to save to OneDrive, and you're not going to do that. You're going to look at the bottom of the list where it says Browse, and once you click Browse, it launches a regular dialog just like the one I had when I saved. A dialog such as this, where you have all the shortcuts on the side to your favorite places. Documents. On Windows, the name of the document will be on the bottom instead of here. Like I said, it's only cosmetic differences. So the only things to take care of is to make sure that it's in the Documents folder, that it's named the way your teacher wants you to name it, and that it's a PowerPoint presentation. From this point on, it's pretty much the same on Mac and Windows. How do I know that I actually saved it? Because it has the right name, and it says save to my... If you're a PC user, it'll say save to my local PC or to my PC or something like that. And now we can finally, let me get this away, start filling it up with stuff. Step number 4. In the first slide, in the title placeholder, we're going to type basic presentation. This is the title placeholder. Every new presentation starts with one slide that is a title. I'm going to type basic presentation. I'm not going to be that picky about capitalization, but it kind of looks cool when you capitalize, headlines, the first letter of each headline. What I'm going to do every time, it doesn't even say that in the instructions because it's so self-explanatory, is that after everything I do that's not a mistake that I think I want to keep, I'm going to save. And the easiest way to save is this little disk icon. Click, and it saves, and it updates whatever you did under the same name. Next, in the subtitle placeholder, you're going to type your full name and your course section. So, your full name, you know what your full name is. Let's say my name is Joe Smith. But students ask, what's my full section? If I go to D2L, let me bring back the course, and I look at the top, I click on the name of the course. This is your course section, right after the name of the course. It's not CGS 1060, that's the name of the curriculum or the course you're learning, but that's not your section. Your section is this. If I go back here, I can, remember it, or I can copy paste it, doesn't matter, as long as I end up with my name and my section. Your teacher needs it because I might be teaching 5, 6, or more sections of the same course, and I want to know that this is yours. And of course, I'm going to save. Next, let me move this away, and we're back to the instructions. So we just did number 5, and your first slide should look something like this. In the Design tab, the Themes menu, we're going to change the theme to Facet, as will be explained in class. A theme is like a package deal of fonts and colors and styles and sometimes backgrounds, and we're going to change our theme to one called Facet. So I'm going to go to the Design tab, and there I can see like a whole gallery of themes. I don't know where their names are, so I can open it. On Mac, we open the gallery on the bottom center, and on Windows, there's an arrow right here that opens the gallery. In any case, I open the gallery, and I can move my mouse over it, and then it reveals its name. And I'm looking for Facet. Where are you, Facet? Here you are, this one. Click. And you can see how it changed, the background, the font, the colors, the alignment, everything. Save. Next. Change the theme to Facet, and we're going to insert a new slide. when we insert a new slide, we have a bunch of layouts to choose from. So the layout that I want you to use is called title and content, and therefore it'll become slide 2 because we already have a slide 1. So how do we insert a slide? We go home. By the way, some students double click on the tabs and the ribbon disappears and they freak out. You just click on it again and it reappears. So there's actually 2 places where you can insert a new slide. Under Home, New Slide, or Insert, New Slide, identical, either or. So I like Home, New Slide. I pull down this little menu, and here's the layout called Title and Content, and that becomes my slide 2. And of course, I'm going to save. And in this slide 2, in the title placeholder, we're going to type My Hobbies. That's the title placeholder, My Hobbies. Save. And after we typed My Hobbies, in the content placeholder, you're going to type a list of your top 3 hobbies. And if you don't have hobbies, make up some, popular ones, just to have a list. It's an exercise in how to create content. It's not about, quizzing you about your personal life. So let's say that Mr. Joe Smith, here, click to add text, his hobbies are gaming and gardening and collecting shells. Save. As you press enter, it creates, we're going to go over in class, over the fact that this is a bullet list, creates a new bullet. Save. The next thing I want you to do after 9 is insert a new slide with a layout, title, and content, which will become slide 3. And in the title placeholder, we're going to type font color size. So while slide 2 is selected, I'm going to go to Home, insert a new slide of the type called title and content, and what I'm going to type is font color size. Save. In the content placeholder, like the big area on the bottom, you're going to type a list of your 4 favorite fonts. You're going to type their name and change the text to actually be in that font. So, and we're going to change all the size of all 4 of them to 40 points. So I'm going to do the first one. I'm going to click, and before I type, I'm going what's a good font? I'm going to pull down the font menu, go over my fonts. I have different fonts than you, so I'm going to use, fonts that I like. I'm just going to pretend right now, I'm just going to use fonts that are available. Let's say I'm going, one of my favorite fonts is Algerian, and I'm going to change the font to Algerian and type its name. I'm typing the font name in the font itself, and then the size will be 40. Next line will be another font. What other font do I like? Let's say that I like the font called 50s Movies. I have that font on my computer. You might not. It's a whole. The whole point is, let's see if I typed it right. The whole point is exercising your taste. So I'm going to use '50s Movies. And also I'm going to make sure by selecting it that it's size 40. Once I made the first one size 40, it's going to, remember that. So my third font will be, whatever. Let's say, I have a very long font menu. Some people have a shorter one. Let's say Century. It's a good time to explore your, what fonts are available. We're also going to talk in class about the problem with using what's called rare fonts, or fonts that not everyone has. But that's a whole different issue. Right now we're just practicing how to choose fonts. And my fourth font will be, let's say, Aptos. Feel free to choose any font you want. Now, of course, I'm going to save. Save. And the next step, change the font size of all four to 40. Change the color of the font names to the following colors: red, blue, green, purple, in that order. So red, blue, green, purple. So I'm going to take my first font, and in the home font text color, I'm going to pull down the gallery of colors and choose red. Now, which shade of red, that's totally up to you, as long as it can clearly be seen as red. And red, blue, I'm going to pull this down. Again, I'm going to use like, kind of a pure variation of blue. You can use a different one as long as it can still be recognized as blue. Then green, and then purple. Again, what I'm doing is just giving you an exercise in where to find those colors. What exact shade you're going to use, totally up to you. Save. Next. So I just did step number 14, and it should look something like this. Of course, you're going to use different fonts. I want you specifically to use different fonts. Don't use any of those. Insert a new slide, layout title only, and it's going to be slide number 4. And in the title placeholder, you're going to type My Lists. So while slide 3 is selected, insert a new slide, this one that's called title only. And the title is going to be My Lists. Could be with a capital L. I'm not going to be picky about that. Save. And then it tells you, in the title placeholder, type My List, already did that. We're going to go to the Insert tab, to the text group, and use something called a text box. Not text box, text box. We're going to draw a text box on the left half of the slide without, specific measurements, something like this. How do we do that? I'm going to go to the Insert. I'm going to find text box, click on it, bring my mouse in, and start from where I think kind of like the top left corner is going to be. Click, hold, and drag with my left mouse button, and I got this box. And in this box, I'm going to type my family members and then a bullet list of at least 3 family members. And if you don't want to reveal real family members, you could just make up names. It could be just, first names. Note, my family members is not a list item. So I'm going to type my family members, enter. And then let's say that I have a family member named Jack, a family member named Jane, and a family member named Lisa. I'm going to take Jack, Jane, and Lisa and turn them into, and that's under Home, a bullet list. A bullet list of the names of 3 family members. So it looks something like this. Then we're going to do another text box, not test box, but text box. I'm going to fix that. We're going to draw a text box on the right half, just like we did this one on the left half. This one is going to be on the right half, something like this. And you already know that we're going to type like a title for it. We're going to type my favorite musicians, singers, /singers. So insert text box. Text box on the right. Either type or paste text, keep text only, because otherwise it'll take the font and stuff. I recommend just typing it. I'm being lazy here. And then my favorite musicians, singers are, let's say, Beatles and Montana Tucker and Nas, and I need 4 of them, so maybe David Bowie. Just making up stuff. In any case, I want you to take these 4 and turn them into a numbered list. So not a bullet list, numbered list. 1 click. Save. The first line is not part of the list, so only think of this as like a headline. To make it look more like a headline, make the lines my family members and my favorite musician singers bold, size 20, and red. So I'm going to go here and select my family members, make it bold, make it 20, and make it red. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this. Red and bold and 20. Now, it doesn't say that specifically, but it could look cool if I moved. See, to move a box, you grab it by its edge, not by the corner, not by this handle which just rotates it, but just like one of the edges. And it gives you little dotted lines that help you align it, let's say the top of both boxes. The next thing I want you to do is to switch slides 3 and 4 order. So slide 4 becomes the new 3. So right now, slide 4 is my list, and I'm going to drag it to be before 3, so it becomes the new 3. And now slide 4 is the fonts. The next step is to go to the Design tab, find Variants, Colors, and change the theme color to red. So right now, the theme uses kind of like greenish colors. I'm going to go to the Design tab. Variants is this gallery, and when I open it, again on Mac, it's open on the bottom center, and on Windows on the bottom right. Open it up, I see a menu called Colors, and there's a color collection called Red. It's not just red, it's a color collection called red. I click, and it changes the whole slide show, the whole presentation. So there's no need to select a specific slide before I do that. Save, exit PowerPoint, and you're going to submit to the assignment box on this module. So there's no need to have PowerPoint still on. Just go over, you should have 4 slides. They should look like this. And if everything looks cool, on Mac, exit is on the top left. On Windows, the X for exit is on the top right. But in any case, I don't need this file to be open anymore. If when I close it ask you, do you want to save one more time? That means you have unsaved changes, and you're going to answer yes. And then submitting it on the module. I'm going to show my students how to submit that in your course shell to make sure that I can grade it. Good luck.